episode 14 of For No Particular Reason.
That's right.
My name is Kerry Lewis. I am a coach and speaker talking about all things mental health and addiction recovery, but really soul recovery, spirit recovery. And I am here with my fabulous dear friend and amazing hypnotist, Yanko Yankov, who is helping people break free from belief systems, habits, and all the junk in their trunk so that they, like me, experience life free from suffering. Right, Yanko?
That's right.
Woot
So,
woot.
yeah, I do hypnosis with people where I help them break free from whatever they're been holding on to, loops, anything, limiting beliefs. I also specialize in spiritual things like past life regression, regression to previous lives, and ultimate or different timelines and stuff like that. So,
See, I love
wonderful
that. And
stuff.
so interestingly enough, we have a beautiful guest who's supposed to be on, but due to my technical inequities and the fact that Yanko's trying to save me from that, we kind of had a blip with the link. So she may or may not show up, but I do want to show her out because regardless, Nandar Matari is off the chain. She's a global meditation teacher. She's created a school. She works with corporations, with people, and much like Yanko, I know that she helps people with past life regression and healing too. And I have to tell you, keeping it real, I have been meditating for almost 10 years now. I've yet to regress into my past life. So maybe we'll work on that one day, Yanko. I don't know. Anyway.
It usually happens when you're right on, and we just got Nandor. So should we bring her in?
Yay!
Yeah,
My
we
There you
God,
go.
main
beautiful
color,
soul.
similar color, pink, pink, pink.
I know. Well, I went with red today, although, this beautiful soul that I happen to be friends with named Nandar told me to wear blue. So I clearly didn't get that memo. But
I have this the thankfulness flower from Bali on, so I can give you one when we meet each other in
Wow,
person.
it's
I
so beautiful.
know. So Nanda, so we call this show for no particular reason because really Yanko and I, very much like you, kind of go with the flow in life for the most part. Of course, I have my moments and ego, but so we want to open up the stage to you to kind of talk about whatever it is you'd like to talk about. I did share with our community before you jumped on, and please elaborate what a profound, amazing person you are. You're a global meditation guide teacher. You are creating a school. You work with corporations and people. And really, you've touched my soul immensely. So selfishly, I mean, that to me means a lot. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much for having me. So, I'm a meditator. I started my journey for 31 years ago. I love meditation. And because meditation helped me to reduce my anxiety. So, I had all these anxieties since I was very young. My mother wanted me to perform all the time. So, I have this anxiety of not making the high mark at school and not bringing any prize at the end of the year. So I have all this anxiety, and I went the first time into the meditation center in 1993, around like May. So it has been 31 years, and it's really changed my life, I would say. I started understanding who I am in the core level. I know that if I can control my mind and emotion, I can achieve a lot of things in my life. So I also learned how to discipline my mind and to focus on the things that I want rather than that I don't want. Right. With that, I also have my childhood dream of like want to travel the world shortly after the first retreat. And I saw this amazing world, of the Thailand border region. I said that I would like to travel the world. So fast forward right now, like after like 12 years later, I think I left my country in 2004. And the first plan was coming to the America as a refugee. Then it was a scam, so I lost all my money. Then I went to Germany alone by myself with one baggage and 10 euro. and I stay or live in Germany for 13 years. So working as a financial consultant, and later I become a team leader and sales manager. So with all these experience of meditation of 31 years experience, and at the same time in the financial consulting, is all about personality, all about knowing who you are, and all about to convincing other people, right, from the confidence level. And I learned about neuro-linguistic programming techniques, and I also intuitively started teaching people to meditate when I become a team leader, because they are dealing with all this burnout, insomnia, all these anxiety issues that I also always had. And I saw these miracles happening for my team. And at one point I decided to follow my passion of teaching other people to meditate. And yeah, it was not always rosy, right? So I had my midlife crisis. I first left my boyfriend of 5 years, and later on I had just have to do on my own path, and then asking the questions to divine or the source, what should I do? And it was very clear message on 2014 March: teach people to meditate. So I've been now doing that for 10 years and taught meditation to thousands of people in three languages: English, German, and Burmese. And I used to live in New York as well, so I taught meditation in the companies and individuals. So in the past 1.5 years I was traveling the world, and now I'm back in New York City. And yeah, in the nutshell, I teach about, most of my clients are like and high achievers, and CEO, CFO, and this level. And of course, I also give a lot of courses for my Burmese people. We are now going through the civil war again, so I have 2 to 3 classes in a month. I also give that with a small amount of money that I get from my sister. I also do something for my family, for my friends as well. So this is what I do right now.
I love that. Go ahead, Yanko.
You
I
you
love
left you left me speechless. I didn't know all those things that you just shared. I mean, we met previously, but we didn't get in all those details and everything. So I'm just like, wow, wonderful. I mean, I follow you on social media. I've seen some of the places you've been. They're wonderful. I, like yourself, like to travel and see the world and experience and have that human connection
Yes.
and experience different things, different foods, and different cultures. So that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. And something you said is, I mean, you show up in service, right? Teaching is a service, but not only are you teaching to acquire money, which we all need to live, but you're showing up in service to your people who are obviously going through circumstances that one will build resilience, but they need to have the tools to be able to really navigate their mind while they're going through uncertainty, which I think we all go through, but that's just, I mean, that's another level, right? So thank you
You're
so
right.
much. Something you touched upon that I want to talk about a little bit is discipline. You disciplined your mind. And for me, I had the hardest time with that word because I associated it with punishment, with being bad for a really long time until I really understood what discipline meant. Can you elaborate a little bit more about what disciplining your mind means to you and how you would encourage people to start to take small actions to discipline their mind?
Yeah. So first thing first is our mind is not our friend. Unfortunately, there is a three attribute of our mind. The first is our mind always will like to grasp or collect information. So that is why social media work, all these reels work, because we go one after another asking for information which you don't have. The second is our mind always judge, right? So this comparison, it is good, it is bad. I like it, I don't like it, right? So this is always comparison. It's the second nature of mind. The third nature of, we always make decision. I will always do this way, I will never do this way. So if we understand this nature of mind, so though we would like to keep on collecting the information, we take a pause. Discipline me, do not go along with that nature. We take a pause. I take my pause, then I just, instead of like keep on going, keep on learning, keep on doing things, I take the small incremental breaks in betweens. So when you take the break, instead of like doing all the time, you just observe yourself. Am I on the right path? If it is not, then you can take the course correction. That is one way of disciplining, taking a pause. The second way is when you are know that you're always judging and comparison. So when you that things will always keep on going. It is a nature. It is a habit. It's happened. We also pick up that way, but we do not believe our own comparison. Though when you're judging that, you're thinking that okay, that person is bad or whatever it is, you always like pooping, your mind pooping all the time. Then you just observe that and you do not go along with that. You're judging, but you know that it is not true. So at one point, when you are detaching yourself from your judgment, then you do not judge that much anymore, right? That is the second way of disciplining yourself, not to judge. So also sometimes it's that today I won't judge anything. I will accept everything what come, right? So the third thing is that is why the third is always make the decision, make us trauma. So my mother always leave me, so everybody will leave me for the rest of my life, right? So we have all this traumatic experience happen because of our decision. So when we know that third nature, we do not make this prompt decision. When we are making decision, we just notice that is it true? Always like make a kind of like question to yourself. Do not make this prompt decision. Instead of it, you always keep it open. Everything can change because that is also like with time when you observe those mind. There are three wisdom that I have to develop over the year when I'm learning all of those from the Buddhist monk from the monastery. So my first teachers are the Buddhist monk, the Vipassana meditation centers in different monastery that I learned. The first is everything is changing, right? Everything is impermanent. Our body change, the whole environment change. So that is why the third opinion of I will do always this way or I will never do this way, it's not true. So everything's changing. That is why you cannot make ultimate decision. The second thing is it's a suffering, dukkha. We learned that. A lot of people think that dukkha as it is a negativity, etc. We think that the suffering coming from attachment. We are attaching towards our identity, attaching towards our decision, attaching towards our own experiences that make us suffering. So it's me if you know that your suffering come from attachment, you have started learning how to detach yourself, from your own thoughts, from your own habits, even from your old stories of who am I and the other people are there. There are a lot of stories behind that. So mental health problems coming from this listening to this, bad stories, we have in our brain. So we do not listen to the story. It's also again the discipline. If you understand that your mind is always telling the wrong story, if you do not believe in your own thoughts, that is a discipline. And you can get rid of that suffering and you do not go along that rabbit hole, right? And the third way is there is no I. There is no I me. So we all share the same air, the same thoughts, right? So when I come down to the New York City, I feel always antsy, right? The people are always rushing and we're doing something and I feel anxiety wave coming, boom. But I do not take that personally because I have to share this air. I decided to come here. So instead of thinking that, okay, New Yorkers are stressed out, whatever, right? So this is normal thing is the people are saying that at the beginning, when I cannot really detach from my own thoughts, I also think that, okay, I'm the highest level of enlightenment now. I'm coming to the anxiety society. I do not want to have it, right? So this is also like my ego. This is a lot of like the beginner ego mind of the light chaser, thinking that, okay, I have to protect myself from this negative energy out there. And but the reality is, it is not the outside negative energy make us suffer. It is about our judgment about that negative energy. So when
Our
we know
shadow.
that, when we are
Yeah.
sharing the same energy, instead of judging, you started looking, how can I serve? How can
Mm.
I forgive? How can I fit in this society so that instead of sitting and judging and feeling this anxiety, I will be going out this weekend to the yoga center in the nature so that I can check all this beautiful energy myself and then come back again to New York City and to go again. So there are ways, right? Of course, when I'm in Bali, so that's why I love Bali. The people pray the whole day. They have a lot of full of love. So in Bali, I'm in high energy always, It is because I share that energy. So that
Yeah, I
is
was gonna ask you how is the energy in there? I hear stories that like energy, it's like super awesome in Bali, and I was thinking about like maybe visiting, but like your experience is just like really high energy everywhere, or
It depends on the it depends and the energies come from the nature of the place. For example, Switzerland. I also live in Switzerland. When the COVID hit, dear God sent me to Switzerland. So that is Switzerland itself is full of heightened spiritual energy. So according to the karmic pattern as well, they are not in the World War I, they are not in the World War II. So that is why they have a peaceful energy. They always stay neutral, right? Because they are not involved in World War I or World War II. Even that, there's a Switzerland embassy in Berlin. No, I was in Berlin, and they just go around. The whole Berlin was bombarded from this, because of the World War I and II in World War II. But that Switzerland embassy stayed. It's only that embassy does not get bombed. But it is not a coincidence. We all know that. It is because of their karma of not getting involved in any war. Even that embassy from the outside of the country doesn't get hurt. So that is why, because of the history and combination of that nature, and Switzerland is heightened in peaceful energy. And also, like, I was in the island of Kopangang. The whole island is from this rose quartz, this heart opening energy. I also now wearing the rose quartz. So I also have to learn to forgive myself, right? So my past incarnation, I was a big warrior king. So with that, I born in the country where the people are always fighting, right? So they are now having the civil war again. So with that, I unconsciously always blame myself. I'm not good enough. I'm a bad person. So that 1.5 years, especially this year in January and February, I was in Kupangang, and I forgive myself for all this past event, what I did in the past life, and also in this lifetime. I was blaming myself. I was pushing myself down. So I forgive myself for my own punishment. So that is why I would say certain energy, in that certain places are heightened than the others because of that rose quartz, right? So this is all about self forgiveness, self compassion, right? There's a Jesus energy. So I did that forgiveness there for the people as well. The people in Bali, they pray from morning till evening. So with that, all this prayer energy, believe in trust in miracles energy. So all the miracles happen. So I would say either one place or the other, it depends. So they have changes according to the karmic things happening on this earth. The second is the quality of the earth, and that is, for example, this is a heightened. This is also dragon energy actually, New York City. That's why dragon is very fast. That's why a lot of people are fast-paced, dynamic. And the third is about because of the people. Then this energy in different part of the world have different energies.
Yeah. I love that. I mean, one, you explained discipline so beautifully, right? I think it was simplified enough that anybody can really kind of walk away and be like, okay, even if I can't exactly separate from my thoughts right now, I have an idea that maybe I can come from curiosity. And something, and the other thing I love is you shared your vulnerability. And this is for me, the most important part of teachers, right, in my opinion, is to share in our own vulnerability. Because interestingly enough, Nanda, I, like you, struggle and still struggle with self-forgiveness. And I know hands
Mhm.
down, like, I am a loving, compassionate, I show and come up with love, but because of past lives or whatever has have you, that's something that I navigate. And so thank you so much for sharing that with the community, because you, as somebody who's been meditating for 30 plus years are still sharing with the community, hey, I don't have it all figured out, but I have the tools needed to be able to come back to peace. And that's really, I think, the important piece that people need to understand is that it is a tool that helps you get back to, well, one, learn yourself, and two, bring you internal peace regardless of the atmosphere that you're in. Would you agree with that statement, or do you feel differently?
Yeah, for sure. That we are the master of our own life, right? So when we have our own tools of meditation and mindfulness, when you do this regular meditation is important, but at the same time, throughout the day, we should also observe ourselves. So
Yes.
meditation and mindfulness that I teach is also like not only sitting down and meditation, it's also about how to observe ourselves throughout the day. It is important. So this is the tool that we can use, right? Everybody can use it, but at the same time it's a layer by layer, right? So we never learn ourselves to love ourselves. We always, like from the child, to we have to take care of other people, take care of other, love other people, not ourselves, right? So otherwise you are self-absorbed and so on. But in Atlas is that we don't feel fulfilled, and so this is that self-love pieces. Everybody need to learn that. So I never, it's never end, right? So in spiritual development, it itself is never end. So I get freer and freer. I get, so getting free from a lot of anxiety and thoughts. But as I told you, as long as I'm living on this earth, someday I'm more enlightened than the others. Someday I also like roll down the back, and so now, oh my God, where am I right now? Because now I'm also like reflected my mind from other people as well.
Yeah.
So that is the ongoing tools, like to in taking the exercise. If you do the weight training or yoga, you have to keep on doing it. As long as you possess the body, you have to keep on exercising. As long as you possess the mind, you have to keep on meditating as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you have the mind work for you and not you for the mind. You're not running like a crazy person.
Yeah, you're right.
yeah. That's beautiful. Well, so it's so funny because I'm always studying the mind and like the reticular activating system. And now there's like this mid singular cortex that they are getting a lot of research about around doing things you do not like. Because as you do these things you do not like, it actually expands this part of your muscle in the mind, which is, I just keep coming back to the fact that e- everything, for you to experience freedom, everything's kind of a discipline. Or for me, what feels more nurturing is a devotion to self, because when you are devoted to self, right, when you really lean into those practices, you then can show up with true love and kindness, first for yourself and for others, even when you're messy, which, you know we all are sometimes, because that's part of the human experience.
Yes, it is. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, self-compassion is the daily practice, and at the same time, in this, I would say that I can also get free from all form of like self-hatreds and um all these bad thoughts about myself, because I helped more than enough people to get free
Mm,
from suffering. That is why I always encourage people to help unconditionally. Sometimes that you don't have this, feedback or that something get back from that same person, but whatever you put out into the world, you will receive it back. So that is why generosity is important, volunteer is important, helping other people is important, because whatever we do, we have this mirror neuron in front of our brain, and it always watching us. It is, there is no separation between you do that for yourself or for others people. So with time, it add up, and it
yeah.
makes you the big breakthrough at one point.
Yeah. Do you have anything to add, Yanko? Because
No, I
I
was gonna say it really resonates with me a lot because I've been in that kind of like environment that Ninder works with people, and I know that the stress it's like really big, and I was like in that space, 7 or 8 years ago, and um, if I don't know, like for anybody that's coming from that and finding out that there is like other possibilities where you can calm your mind and not be so stressed about it, and run like a dog running after tree, because you're just like following whatever the mind says. Oh, I want pizza or whatever. That's amazing. It's good. And I would say that I highly recommend that anybody that's maybe curious but not taking my words or Nandar words about it. Anybody that's like curious and it's in situation when they're in stressful environment because of the work and the demand of like pushing the product to the next stage of whatever you're working on, that'll be the best gift you can give to yourself. Just open to curiosity and find out that there's other possibilities out there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And at the same time, this spirituality and mindfulness become more and more important because we are living in the society of overusing our mind, right? So there are a lot of informations out there, and a lot of people have this non-stop walking out and things that we, because we think that if we would like to achieve more, we just have to do more, right? And
Mm,
but the other way around is true. So everything has their own rhythm, right? Even the plants, if you would like to grow, you cannot just pull the roots, right? We need
right.
to wait, right? It's the same thing. If we keep on doing and without taking a break, our mind do not have this capacity to rest.
Yep.
Then we cannot also produce the original idea or the new one, right? And at the same time, we, a lot of people who are having burnout and all these high achiever are coming to me, and because they would like to make a breakthrough, they want to, they already on like let's say 1 million, and they want to make 2 millions per year, right? So it is possible. They also know that with the logical sense, but the fact is, um, how do we do that? We need to change our identity of how we see ourselves, right? And at the same time, the people need to learn that the possibilities out there, but we have a certain way of seeing ourselves, certain way of feeling. The people who earn 1 million and 2 millions has a different personality or different, how they see themselves and how they feel about themselves is different. So the meditation and mindfulness is about changing how we see ourselves and also see the environment around us. So it is more than the training the brain. A lot of people think that meditation is just closing the eyes and you just like relax, and when you come out everything's okay again. No, right? And it is about you take a rest, but at the same time, I see that the real meditation is about learning the universal laws, right? That is the nature of mind is one. The universal law is, and also in other words, is energy law.
Mhm.
Everything is energy, right? So we, Yanko is somewhere else, Kerry is somewhere else, I'm in New York City, right? So but we all are coming in the line because in the old age is radio, right? So we have the same tuning of the frequency. That's why we all come together. It is the same. We have to match or reach the certain energy frequency to reach certain goal, right? So meditation is about learning that if you would like to achieve that 2 millions or whatever the millions you would like to achieve, what is, what are you giving to the world, right? Because there is the energy exchange is always happening, right? So you have to do give something out into the world differently than what you are giving out till now. So
That's so true though. Like I've seen people do that, even businesses start up and they think, well, how can we make more of this product sell or whatever? But the product doesn't offer any service in return, so they go bankrupt because like you have a product that's like not offering any service, and then you're pushing it to people, but like you're just making it for the sake of making it because your goal it's the money, not the service. So yeah,
yeah.
it's
For the
I'm
long
with
run,
you
it must be
100%.
service must be there. Yeah. Service or the products, it is useful for the people. But at the same time, Richard Branson, right, that Virgin guy, so
Yep.
he has lots and lots of business. He doesn't, write all the emails. He has assistant and he do everything. But does he make a lot of billions dollar, right? So in 24 hours comparing to other people. Because the fact is you hold a certain level of energy for all the business that you're doing. In other words, is if you would like to achieve more, sometimes you just needed to delegate and do a lot of things for other people, and you just have to heighten your energy frequency, and then a new idea, new way of doing, new way of thinking that you need to develop. So meditation, what I'm teaching is, of course, relax and take letting go of the burnout, depressions. It is more than that. It is about finding the potential that you haven't find before, because we all have this inner master, and this is pure potential or the endless potential inside of us. When we let go of that old thoughts, judgment, and decision, when we let go of that, we come back to this wisdom part of ourselves, which guide us to endless possibility, and to this possibility, the services, products, and to the places that we have never experienced before. So it is more than relaxing and reducing, anxiety. So it
Yeah,
is
I
more
love
than that.
you say so, I mean, you hit on so many beautiful things, and that's the thing is we have information overload, right? And people,
Yeah.
when they have all of this information constantly flooding their brain, it's very difficult to discern and get spiritual insight or even just intuitive hits, right? For anybody out there who's like, I don't know what you're talking about spiritually, the reality is we are all energy. That's science proven. And from an energetic space, right, of peace, really, I find that my most insightful hits come from when I'm just whatever, peaceful. And that doesn't mean I'm not doing something. I could be actively working, but I'm just as a peace about me. I get very insightful, and it will be a thought that's out of the box that seemingly is out of nowhere. So I love that. And also, you talk a lot about observation. And I think that's the most important thing that I want people to take away from what you're sharing about meditation is being able to observe how you interact in the world as you're working with employees, as you're creating a culture, as you're showing up and offering whatever it is you are to your people, because that has a direct impact on how successful you'll be, right? I helped create a business, and my one goal was to create an inclusive and diverse culture where every single person who worked in this business felt empowered, felt seen, and valued. And in doing so, that business was successful, not because I focused on how I was going to market the business, but because I focused on how I was going to make the people in that business feel. And
Yeah.
those people feeling empowered and seen then created that energy that attracted the customer, the consumer.
Life is more than consumption. That is true partially, and everybody should feel empowered, right? And the fact is, the people will feel empowered and also seen, and will be able to connect to each other if we are coming out of our lens of seeing each other from this social point of view, right? A lot of people are seeing that each other in the form of, I'm a 40 years old woman with da 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 da, da, and so I'm the how many years old man with this is this. So it's me. We are already mental ourselves with a certain way of seeing and things. So in other words, is we are living our past story again and again and trying to create something new. It doesn't work. So this meditation and mindfulness is about living every moment fresh. So
Mm.
if I do not believe and trust in the old story, if I do not believe and trust in the old way of thinking, and I am vulnerable enough, i'm I'm open enough to say that I'm wrong, my idea can be wrong, so it is not about right and wrong, I just would like to figure it out, the new way of living, the new way of creation. From this openness of heart, we have to connect with each other, and if we can also open our heart, and if we can let go of these old baggages and old stories of, you done that to me, my father left me, my mother is what, right? So this is a form of the therapy, but at the same time, we do not take those emotion which is coming up on the surface at granted, right? It's a true. So with that, in the freshness of the moment, every moment, will be able to connect with each other from heart to heart. From this heart connection, we come to understand that we are more than our history. We can create a big new world, a big new society from that freshness, because we are divine being or the powerful being, and that we can create the new things, from the freshness and without having judgment to each other. So meditation is, you can do the therapy, a form of therapy, but inside therapy, because letting go of our negative judgment and thoughts. But sometimes therapy can be staying in the wrong, and never coming out, because they think, okay, your father did that, that is why you understood, but and cannot really forgive, right? So you go in the cycle. But
Yep.
the thing is, whatever you feel right now, you just let go. The
Yep.
meditation is about letting go of whatever the emotion feeling, but it is not from this head letting go. It is from the heart, and knowing that I do not have to repeat that, because this repetition doesn't serve me anymore. It's
Yeah.
also a big deep self love. So because I do not carry those baggages in my heart anymore, I can show up very in with this loving presence, with this clarity. And this clarity and loving presence will become an example for my colleagues, for my clients, for my family. And from that energy onwards, we can create a new world, the new system, the new political system, economic system, the educational system.
Yeah.
That is what I would say.
Yeah, that's so well put. And I think, well, when you open up your heart, right, you're free from fear. And I think when you look at our society as a whole, um, we operate from a place of deep seated fear, which is old stories that aren't necessarily, I mean, they don't have to be true unless we keep bringing it up. And the other thing you said, and I feel very strongly about this is, while I do think therapy can serve its purpose, I had an amazing therapist who helped me through a lot of my early childhood stuff. You're right. If I keep telling myself that story, I'm going to keep experiencing those experiences with the people who are in my life now who never were a part of the original story. And so at some point, I had to learn that I was going to choose to let that story go. I was going to feel the feeling, release it, and then try to be present in this moment from a place of compassion and
Yeah.
curiosity, so that I could really see the connection that was coming right now between us
Mhm.
three versus bringing in what I would have otherwise brought in from my past. So
You're right.
yeah.
I mean, probably our viewers are thinking that this is like really easy when you hear us talking about it, but this takes a lot of practice and a lot of self observation, and is not. It's a way of living. It's a lifestyle. So to me, it had to be, and I still do it like from moment to moment to moment. Um, Sometimes I feel in the drama that unfolds, um, but meditation helps because you train your mind to be able to detach in the moment and not be so much in the drama and be reactive. Is like most people just react in the moment based on whatever their feeling and emotions are. So that helps too. But don't think it's good to hear us talking about it, and I'm enjoying everything. Um, I just want to add that it takes practice. It doesn't happen. There's no magic where you just sit for like 2 days and your entire world changes.
Yeah, consistency is important. At the same time, though, starting small. I always encourage people to start small.
Yep.
You can even do the 10 count of breath every morning, right? So it can be 1 minute. You just breathe in one, breathe out two, breathe in three, breathe out four. So this is like my nephews. They started with the 10 counts. Now they can even go up until 5 minutes without moving, right? So they reach hundreds, and they can stay there. And so now they are at the age of 7, and one the other is 4, right? So if the kids can even start with 10 counts, and then with time they just increase that, then you can do that. But this 1 minutes of 10 counts will make a huge shift in the quantum jump throughout the day. So I would encourage the people, this consistency is right. And even if you can do it one times, 10 counts in the whole week, that is also fine. But the thing is, you keep on going that. So, and the one thing is, you can start it with the small. The second is use the guided meditation. There are 5 minutes guided meditation.
Yep.
Any things that you can use that on YouTube. You can also go to my website, and it's 10 minutes guided meditation. So my own technique. So it's very deep. You can try that out. And but the guided meditation is very important because our mind goes very fast, right? So you can start with 5 minutes. And because I myself took 9 years to integrate that meditation techniques in my life. So I always go, I started with teenagers, right? So I said, okay, I will meditate at home. That my teachers told me I have to meditate every day, but I don't make it, you have something else to do, always interests me. Then at one
Uh,
point, when I lost all of my money in Bangkok because of the scam, you know then I say that, oh my god, I do not listen, though I know my intuition tell me that it should not be true, but I just would like to keep on going. In other words, meditation and listening is that to check, are you on the right track, right? So like a riding bicycle, this is a small stroke of correction. It's make you in the right lane. So if you are not listening, and then you do not know that you are far away in the lane and you are not on the track anymore. So that is why daily meditation is about making the correction, small correction for your goal, for your personal goal, professional goal, anything, right? And so you can be on the right lane. That is why this 1 minute or 5 minutes investigation, on your mind, on your body can reach farther ahead to so many people, right?
Yeah.
That is why I really encourage people to invest that. Maybe you can start with 1 minute, 10 counts of breath, and then start from 5 minutes. Then afterwards, the other way you can do is that join the weekend courses, right? So there are three ways that you can start with meditation. First is use the guided meditation. The second is use the weekend courses or the meditation course. And of course, the third is meditation teacher. So I'm also will be launching the online community where the people can join from all over the world. We'll be meditating together, learning all those universal laws, and also like different types of meditation. I'll be teaching that. So at
I'm
one.
so glad you brought this up because, like, um, I, from my personal experience, I feel like if you go through the process, then you know how to guide people faster in it. Kind of
Mhm.
like if you're going to run a marathon and you've never done it before, it'll help you if you have somebody that's done it that'll tell you, okay, here's where you're doing it wrong, and
Yeah.
here's where you can improve and get things going in a better way. Would you? I'm curious to find out what would you recommend because like we talked a lot about like meditation in everything that involves with the meditation, but we didn't brush up on like position. Some people feel like they need to sit cross-legged and they can't really have the flexibility, and that kind of puts them off, or they think, well, I have to be in a certain way, or I have to be in special room or anything in my house. What would you say to
Mhm.
that kind of people?
So meditation is not about position and how you look outside, right? It's about inner work. So there are also four types of meditation, right? And the people who cannot sit still, they can start with the body meditation. Body meditations are yoga, qigong, tai chi, the movement, and then also like concentrating on the body. So some people are very active, and I let them do the meditation of yoga first, right? That is a body meditation. Second is mind meditation. That in that case, you sit down on the chair or on the sofa. You don't need to cross the leg. You have body have to be feel comfortable so that you can concentrate on your mind. Even the people who cannot sit down, because there are also like people who cannot really sit, then I let them lay down and listen to the things and do the inner work, right? The third is called emotional meditation. Some people do the affirmation with tapping, right? That is the
Mhm.
emotional meditation, what you can do, or the breath work, guided to feel somebody and really release the emotion. That is emotional meditation. The fourth is called wisdom meditation. They started understanding the nature of mind, all this intention, the law of intention. I teach the eight universal laws, all these laws, how to use those laws in their daily life. And also I teach their spiritual habits, how to use those, how to integrate those spiritual habits so that you can also live that eight universal laws and you develop in all area of your life. So in that case, is that meditation is broad and big, but at the same time, it is not about how you look outside, how you look like, and you just have to sit down, straight eyes, and then you are meditating. No, it is about how you feel your body, how much you understand about yourself, how much you understand about the nature of your thoughts, how much you understand about your own emotions. That is the meditation. So
That
it's
is
If you say the mantra by yourself, I love myself, or I'm strong, or whatever, that is your meditation right now,
Yep.
because you are learning to feed yourself with the good thoughts, with the good affirmation. So meditation is broad.
Yeah. And so there's so much I love about what you said. So for anybody out there who's curious, absolutely, I cannot emphasize enough that I wholeheartedly hope you join Nandar's community as that gets established, because she uses science, right? The universal laws. So I know a lot about that as well. And I think it's incredibly important that we're able to meet people where they are. And sometimes, saying spirituality might feel hard, but universal law, there's enough science behind that it goes to that logical thinker, which that's me, right? I'm the person who needs all the evidence before I dive in, or
Mhm.
that's who I used to be. Second thing I really want to uh, touch upon again is that you said start small, right? And the reason I say that is my community, people I work with are steeped in addiction. And when I started meditating 10 years ago, fortunately, I journaled at that time. So I have a lot of detailed descriptions. I could not sit for 30 seconds. I couldn't. But somebody told me it doesn't matter how much you sit, just come back to it every day. And that 30 seconds turned into 40 seconds and 40 and so on. And so something that you said that really I align with so much and is so profoundly important that anybody watching the series is start so micro small. It does not matter. It can just be 30 seconds, but 30 seconds consistently will have a massive impact that is indescribable, right? Because it's so personal and it's unique to your own experience, and yet it's universal in that you will start to be able to step away from that overthinking mind to observe how you respond in everyday life situations. So thank you so much
Right.
for sharing that.
Sure.
And
You're
Yeah,
welcome.
and the reason I asked about it was because, like, in my journey, in my personal journey, when I first started with meditation, I wasn't really sure, like, if there is a correct way to sit, or like people, you go on the internet and you look for it, and people are sitting in lotus, and you don't have the flexibility. Maybe
Mhm.
you have a bad back, and then you kind of like, go in and wonder about it. So that's why I wanted to hear your perspective on like position and how you sit or whatever, because it's easy to talk about techniques and different things, but like when it comes down to it, how do you actually do it? Do you find time, like a special time? Um, and I'm just gonna throw that out there. The mind, it's like a muscle. You teach it. So if you stick to a specific schedule where you meditate or a specific position, your mind will let you do it faster next time around. So if you, it's kind of like when you go to sleep. As soon as your head hits the pillow, your body goes to sleep mode. So if you train yourself to sit in a specific position and specific time, that'll help you increase your practice. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree with that. Because the people, we do not, forgot to brush our teeth because we do that every day, right? So it is also the same. I let the people, as soon as they wake up, do not watch the phone. I let them to say the affirmation like 2, 3 minutes, right? And then I just stay down, or drink the thing and do that as soon as you wake up. So at one point is that you have that in your body and you can't live without that, right?
Yeah, you're
It's how
building a
you,
new habit. Yep.
yeah. And also it set the tone of the day. So I would also say that when you're talking about that, I want to say about the myths of meditation. A lot of people think that meditation is only for the monks and nuns, right? So they left everything behind, and I have to leave everything behind. I do not want to do it. If I do the meditation, then I have to be a nun and a monk at one point. No, it is not, right? Because our world has become more and more complex. If you want to stay healthy, mentally, emotionally, physically, and also be successful, you should meditate, right? It's become that for everybody right now. And the second thing is, a lot of people think that if you meditate, you just have to sit certain position, right? That is also the thing. And the next thing is the thing, people think that I have to stop thinking, I can't do it, right? No, I cannot also stop the thinking either. Even the enlightened people think. But the thing is, we know how to, navigate the thought. So we do not believe what we think anymore, right? So a meditation is about to observe our negative thoughts and not to believe them, to observe them and to detach ourselves from our positive thoughts, nor the negative thoughts. A lot of people think that, okay, all the positive thoughts I talk about it, that is me, right? All the negative thoughts what I think about, it is not me. I got it from somebody else. But you are both of them, and at the same time, we are not both of them, because these thoughts happen through you, but it is not yours. In other words, meditation is about not, swimming in this very speedy river, and we just take out, get up, and then, get out of from this river, and we just observe. Sometimes the river is very fast, sometimes the river is very slow, and we started able to detach ourselves and started enjoying the scene. So it's mean you are fully involved in that life, and with all the emotion, good and bad, with all these good and bad experience, at the same time, you do not attach to that events. So then you are free. It's mean that sometimes I also like, I lose money and oh my God, I can't do it. And then I come back, okay, life is flowing. I just keep on going. So that is why that three myths is, it is not only for monks and nuns. The second is you don't have to stop thinking. And the third, it is not about how you look outside. So
Hmm.
then also, I would like to go and touch base to this addiction. Right? Everybody addicted. It is a lot of people think that of the drugs or alcohol or sex, and they think that is only addiction. But the people, especially who get addicted to something, is they are looking for spiritual experience.
Yep.
They're looking for extremity of it. It's I want to go beyond my suffering, but a suffering of my thoughts. They do not want to see that thoughts pattern, because if you have a trauma, our body keep the score. It is on the body, in the blood already. So though we do not want to think, it is always active. That is why through this numbing process of alcohol, drugs, and sex, you have a peak of moment of like, and so a liberation, and that is what the people looking for. But if you meditate, you can adjust that. You will be able to get free from all this negative thoughts pattern. Then you will be really free. So in other words, that is the fake spiritual experience that people are looking for, the drugs abuse and all these people. But I used to have this drug addict as well. Mine is I'm not good enough. I'm
Yeah.
punching myself down all the time, right? So that was my drugs. Now I get free from my drugs, and so that is why it is not bad. You don't have to beat yourself down for your addiction. It is because you are trying to heal yourself. So I see you, I feel you, whoever is watching right now out there, love yourself, who
Yes.
you are. So everybody addicted to something else always, and then it's mean your soul is looking for spiritual experience and you're on the right path, but do not stay in the drugs.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I love that you said that. I tell people that all the time. We're all addicted to something, right?
Yeah,
I look at people who get off alcohol and drugs and then they become addicted to exercise, which they do it to the
yes,
extreme, right? And or right, I think the biggest thing I see right now is people are addicted to technology and they become apathetic because if they just scroll for hours a day,
yeah,
they're they don't they get that quick dopamine hit when they see something that they want. However, most of it is just this droning of like this like existing but not really experiencing. And I
you're
think
right.
that's the other thing about meditation that has had a profound influence on me is, and I share this with people openly, when I really broke free from a lot, I find that when I suffer, when I feel like sorrow or something, I feel it much more deeply now than I might have when I was numbing out and stuff.
You're
However,
right.
I also experience that spiritual peace, that like just this peace, this overwhelming, like just much more deeply than I ever did when I wasn't meditating as well. So,
Mhm.
I think, for me, that's been my experience, and I wouldn't trade it for the world because I feel everything.
Mhm.
I feel I like exist in the experience, I guess is the best way to
Yes,
describe it. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. So with that being said, we have a couple minutes. Nanda, do you have how can people find you? What, where can they go? And is your community launched or is that still in the works? Share all the things.
Yeah, you can go to my website, matarimeditation.com, download the meditation, and you can try it out 10 minutes. And I'm on all the social medias, the Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn, and also like YouTube. I have to be more, active on that YouTube right now. And I'll be having my TikTok as well, where I share all of those meditation tips and tricks. So, and also I'll be launching my online community very soon, so it might even have this, free membership program where you can join the group meditations one time in a month, in a bigger round, because I have a lot of people from all over the world. So I believe and trust that when we all people are meditating together, it can bring lots of energy for our world. So even if you cannot join that, free membership and one times in a month will be a great opportunity. So I keep in touch. Send me the, follow me on Instagram or Facebook and all these social media, and I'm always present. And I'm right now saying more about my travel. Right now I'm in your city, but at the end of this month in July, I'll be in Switzerland. So I'm now doing more broadcasting, live broadcasting, live, going live, and so that yeah, I like connecting. I love connecting with people.
Well, anytime you want to jump in, you're welcome to join us here on Fridays for
So
no particular reason because we love your energy. Any closing thoughts, Yanko?
I was gonna say this is wonderful, and we do share your info. I pointed out down under. People can find your website there, and it'll also be in the social media post. We have a link on the bio
yeah.
underneath. So if people want to use that to find you, that'll be easier. You know where people can find us.
The
You're
last one,
probably watching
please,
us
is we
through.
will be having like on the 26th of June. And if you are in your city area, I'll be having like painting and meditation together. Relax, refresh, and renew. It is about we'll meditate and we'll paint our inner world and how we can transform it. So it will be fun events, with the meditation, 90 minutes in the Brooklyn area. So it's on maybe that I can send you the link later on, or you will have that on my social media as well. I'll be broadcasting there.
Fun.
Wonderful.
I might
And,
take the
and
4-hour trip to go.
Yeah, please.
it's a little too far for me, but maybe next time if
Okay,
I
sure.
happen to go there, I'm on a totally different time zone. But
Okay.
people know where to find me. They're probably watching us through either my profile or Carrie's profile because we're regular here. We really thank you for showing up and sharing time with us. It's really
Thank you
appreciated.
very much.
And like Carrie said, we'll love to have you anytime you feel inspired to join us. Just send
Okay.
us an email. Feel like this is an open invitation to come back at any time you feel like.
Of course. I will
Yeah.
come back.
Keep
Take care, everyone.
well,
Thank you very much for
thank you,
giving the
everybody.
opportunity.
Until next time, we will